And we're live. Hey everybody, it's Great Ace Attorney Chronicle. Oh, hey, there's a lot going on in this room.
Yeah, there is.
So let's go ahead and just,
Play that cutscene again.
yeah.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
Sholmes still gets
In
me.
time,
I don't think Sholmes is gonna not get me for this entire
soft,
game.
almost growl-like sound.
What's that thing where it's like
Suddenly, Sholmes sprang
you
into
can
action,
tell that
lashing
it's clearly
furiously with his cane
like
at a point in
an
the darkness.
excerpt.
Right.
So now my
Listen,
brain's just
he
like
yelled,
thinking of an
his
entire
tense
Sherlock
voice
Holmes book,
reverberating
but
through the air.
everything is the same, but it keeps saying
I raised
Sholmes
my
over
dark
and over.
lantern shutter, and the room
And Herlock.
slowly came into view.
I'm
It's like,
curious how much of
staring
the
intently at
I'm
one
curious how many
particular corner,
Sherlock Holmes stories are like canon to this game.
the victim's most perplexing final words.
I don't
The
know.
speckled
Hey, son.
band.
Hello, Zen.
I believe
What up?
this is
Probably
the
not
terrible
many of
code
them,
which she
because I don't
refers.
remember
In front
Sherlock
of us was an
Holmes
enormous adder,
usually
its fangs
having
bared as it threatened to strike.
Herlock Sholmes.
Right.
It truly
Is that
was
not
the
his name?
most terrible
Yeah, it's Herlock
speckled
Sholmes.
band
What's Small
I
Guy
had
doing?
ever seen.
I don't know. He's doing a bit.
Doing a bit? It's
Probably
not
doing a bit
funny,
about how,
Malaga. Do
about how
better.
dumb Herlock
Oh,
Sholmes is
he-
as a name. 9th
Probably doing
January,
that thing because, like, in the
6:37
original version, they didn't have to change around. It's only in this, like, fan or, like, official dub.
On board.
Listen,
on board the
not all of us
steamship
can play the
Maria.
fan dubs, Malaga.
So then,
But I'd
let
be
us unravel this
surprised
mystery
if there was much that was
and
canon,
discover
just
what
because,
events
Right.
led to this curious
'Cause a lot
like,
of
this
the stuff-
seems like a wildly
Do
different
something.
Herlock.
Right.
You know?
was bolted from the inside when the man was killed.
Normally,
No
Herlock
evidence
isn't like a
suggests the bolt was
steampunk.
tampered with in any way.
Right.
So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
Good click.
The speckled
Almost
band, I
certainly
think,
with the ink
right?
Yeah.
From this upset bottle.
The Speckled Band, yeah. It's chapter
Russian
2,
word.
I assume.
So, the victim was a Russian man. And the letters are well formed.
I like how he's just wrong about that, by the way.
And a lot of other things.
This is a most extraordinary
Three.
script.
He's like,
I can almost read that.
only Russians
Not headed by the same hand.
Only Russians can write in Russian, says I, Herlock Sholmes.
It's ridiculous.
This paper seal was placed
Why does it
just
need to be a
prior the
gun?
incident by
I don't
the victim
know.
Himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Yeah, we know, Sin.
Wait a
That's
minute.
why
You? And what do you think
What
you're
the-
doing here?
No one was
Red
touched before
spies
the
in the
attempt
base.
We must wait. That won't be necessary.
But
You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
yeah,
Whoa!
Don't be absurd.
but yeah, Sin, we were talking about that earlier, which is why I was wondering what Mola guy was on about.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't
'Cause I'm
mean
pretty sure
the
we've talked
culprit is
about
in there?
Herlock multiple times.
Oh, you're right. That is
Who are
Hosonaga,
you,
I
and where have
think.
you come from?
Yeah, that's
Look like
Hosonaga
a
in the
British
back.
Consultant detective, the
It
only
is
one in the
Hosonaga.
world.
That's not Hosonaga. I will eat my
Herlock
left
Sholmes.
shoe.
Oh my god, is Hosonaga the gumshoe of
presume-
this game? I wasn't expecting
You
that.
must have heard of me.
Maybe we'll learn why he's coughing up blood by the end of the game. Ugh, my head is throbbing. What's going
I doubt
on?
the.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, I doubt the Doyle estate could get away with copyrighting too many of the things. Like they definitely
Right.
they can't like copyright the phrase speckled band.
Right.
That's in the public lexicon. I'm surprised that Sherlock Sholmes isn't considered public use, but I don't know that much about copyright law, especially particularly UK copyright law.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really
What?
sure. If something's not right here, there's trouble in the air. Huh? Wait, I can't move. Oh. Ah! What the?
Ah.
Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Oh, this is not
Nope.
nice. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not
That is
believe
not
how
Russian.
you could not. One of those guys was German, though, I think.
Was he?
I don't know, maybe it's...
No.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure they were both Russian, were they
I
not?
do not believe how you could not wake... This is still German. It's just instead of camp German, it's fucking, Terminator German. Couldn't remember his name. Arnold, that's the one.
Arnold German, who's Austrian, but you know.
I do
They
not
speak it.
believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You... Ha! You found me then. Da! We found you. And now you pay. Criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, I just keep going back to German. Sorry. Now you have been found. It's time to admit your crimes. I'm still doing German. It's just gonna have to be... In Soviet Russia.
Russian's like an easy. It's like an
I can't-
easy fake accent.
I
Bad
can't
accent.
do it, is problem. I keep going back to German. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is. No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that? Damn it! I keep guessing
Nope.
wrong.
You've been wrong every time, you dumb idiot.
I never played this
All right.
one.
I'm gonna kill you. Shut up.
I'm
Anyways,
sorry.
you're not sorry enough. If you were, you'd stop saying you're sorry to me and start making changes.
Oh, okay, so the original stories actually are public domain. It's just the last ones are still
Yeah.
under copyright, which the Doyle estate argues includes any depiction of Sherlock Holmes with emotions.
Yeah.
Which is absurd.
I assumed it was something like... I heard it was something like that. Probably from Mullah guy way back when.
It could
Mentioned something about the emotions being an important legal factor. Which is pretty
be.
funny.
It's really
but
it's
that's
pretty,
kinda-
it's pretty stupid, but fine.
I mean, in a few years it won't matter because the rest will also become public domain unless they keep changing the copyright laws, which they've conveniently
Which
done every time the
Every time
Disney
Disney's
characters
about
were.
to, yeah. How strange.
It's crazy how that happens, you know.
What a
Anyways, I
weird
guess this was
coinky.
me again. Why did you do it? Why did you take his?
Miss Susato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life.
Whose life?
Whose life? Is someone dead?
I hope it's not my best buddy in the world, Kazuma.
Where is he? Where's Kazuma?
Yeah.
Ha! You pretend you do not this is still German.
What are you doing,
You
Steven?
pretend you do not know. You're a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You're the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What?
Huh? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Oh, right over there. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside.
His body? Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I...
Is every case in this goddamn game gonna just be us being the suspect?
Maybe.
Is Ryounosuke just cursed to have people die around him?
I
What's
guess
going on?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
It does. It does seem that way. I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? I forgot how quiet I was supposed to be on this.
Audible is nice. What you're doing
Audible.
is fine.
Sponsored by Audible.
I wish, dude. I would take
you
sponsorship
imagine?
money so fast.
It would be so chill out to anybody. Heck, you catch me over here being a pawn of capitalism in a second.
No, Asugi,
No,
the Mia of this
Asugi,
game
The
died.
Mia of this game died. Who would have suspected that the calm and confident one with all of the cool things would just fucking die?
Just full.
So I guess we do know for sure that Kazuma's specific lineage ended.
Ends right here. Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, he may have had siblings, but
Maybe
he himself,
Quite
no
dead.
kids,
dead as shit.
because he's dead. He was they put the chalk outline on the floor so we know where the body was. Answer me, please.
No. No. Kazuma, it was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble?
Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else would you come to England with me to study?
It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor, I thought I was going to die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. Nice. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
Well, you see, I've never been able to hear what she's saying, so I don't know if I like her.
I don't know if
No,
she can
but
be
if she knew-
trusted.
Yeah, frankly, I've just been pretending for years. You know that thing, Ryounosuke, when you can't hear someone the first 2 times, and so you just nod and half chuckle, hoping that it wasn't something that you're expected to respond to? It's been that for 2 decades. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association.
Hey, thanks for the bit, Mullah guy.
New month. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's about that time the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin.
I'm gonna shove you in a cabinet.
I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding in my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it.
Stop worrying. Be happy. I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper?
What?
In Japanese, that'll make sense. I'm sure all the stewards on this boat speak
On this
perfect
Russian boat.
Japanese. On this very Russian boat. Anyways, then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside.
I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together.
So, they're gonna tell me. They're gonna tell me right now that the current working theory is that he killed Kazuma, then climbed inside the wardrobe, and somehow from the inside stuck a keep out sign on the wardrobe.
I guess.
And that was his master murder plan.
I suppose so. We'll leave you in next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
Oh, that's stupid.
I'm not a murderer. Da, you said
No.
before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Yeah, there's definitely no other way into this room. There's just none. at all. I'm sure of it.
I see a
How
vent.
could anyone?
From this camera angle,
There's
I
a
see
vent,
a vent
right there. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're like, there's no way. No one could have possibly made it in this room at all. This is you.
Oh, Susato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
And now the game's lagging, so just give me a second.
Oh.
Well, not the game, I suppose, but the stream. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, I've been having some
Very
connection
well.
problems.
But there's something I would like to ask of you, too.
Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare
I
is
am.
getting worse by the minute. I suppose
I'm
all I
going
can do
to
is try to
stab
find
you.
out what really happened.
A lot.
Kazuma's death. What do I got in the court record? Paper seal. Okay,
Paper
what
seal. Quickly, slap it on her.
says keep out?
Maybe it'll keep her away.
I'm trying to read it, but I'm not very good at this. I know the second to
reading,
last syllable is, I think, re. That doesn't help me, though. Whatever. Malachi probably knows what it says. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs, they think I did it? That doesn't help me, Malachi. It's either Ri or Ru. I don't know.
Can you
You think I'm
please
Kazuma's
just
killer?
shut up for like 5 minutes?
No. It's something, Ru something, I
Different.
think. And when they... Nope, that was you. Akeruna.
I know, I've been waiting to speak, but you keep interjecting to talk about characters you cannot read.
Characters I can almost
I'm gonna
read.
lose it. This isn't content. Being like, I can almost understand what that is, except for the way that I can. This is like me being like, I heard them say the word 6 in this sentence in Mandarin. Haha, I've
Got 'em.
deduced it.
I've deduced it. They're talking about 6 of something.
6 of something, I think, probably. Unless Leo means something else also, which it could. Anyways. It means open, don't.
That's incredible.
It's very, very good, actually. When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped with these 4 walls.
What?
Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? Kazuma did it to himself!
This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
Maybe it was just shorter or easier to write or something, Mulligan.
Could be.
Because he only had a scrap of paper. And look at that other stuff you're saying. That's just some sort of squiggles.
Yeah.
Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me.
Oh no, she's saying. Oh wait, what? The cause of death is still undetermined.
They don't know how he died?
The ship's doctors examined the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call.
So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then?
That's true, yes. Dude, what if he died from curare, though?
Can't anyone tell me what actually has happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Please.
Stone cold! Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all.
Well, yes, I was, but...
He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. Oh! That's interesting. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder?
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. So we know he died in the night, then.
Right. Why were we shoved in the cabinet, then? Whatever. Crewman...
Why were we still in the cabinet? Because he was like...
Unless we were just
Kazuma
sleeping in there.
Well, he said his head was throbbing.
Right.
So he might have been knocked out.
Could have been knocked out.
Unless the throbbing was just happenstance. Unless they knocked him out when they opened the cabinet door.
Everything in this room seems to have tilted to the left, so maybe just like the ship caught a wave or something and he just fucking clonked his head.
The crewman forced the door open, and we managed to get inside. And then Herlock Sholmes showed up, and it was really weird.
Made a bunch of
It was
wrong
Kazuma-sama.
statements.
He was actually wrong about basically everything. There was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. I don't know why that chalk outline was really funny, but the sudden cut to it was.
And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe.
This is all very hard to believe for me, too, trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yes, all right. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Stowaway.
Why are you even on board this ship, Naruto-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea.
That was the intent.
But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin so long without him noticing? Oh, well, you see, he did know.
Well, that would have been impossible, obviously.
Oh, hey, new pose.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you? But why?
I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. And now I never will.
I don't understand.
Me neither. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I, that you ought to become a lawyer yourself.
Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that.
But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then
Then what?
nothing. Forget it.
It's because they were
It's because they're very platonic best friends. Very platonic. Why do you think Susato's so shocked
Annoyed.
when he was like, yeah, annoyed, yeah, when he was like, oh no, he knew I was here. She's just like, that bastard.
That son of a bitch.
He brought his boy toy on this ship. I swear to God. Kazuma-sama is. He was always saying the same thing. that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes, then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean.
If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Last night.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there just like I always did. After that, I...
Fell asleep?
Well, yes.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed?
Well, yes. I know it
Are you
sounds
fucking
unbelievable,
shitting me?
really I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it.
Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this.
Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ah! I can't take this.
Don't try to go anywhere. She has a gun. Oh no.
Damn.
Could you imagine?
She just fucking caps us.
Taps us right in the knees and she's like, ah! Dude, I was really hoping during one of these emotional scenes that Herlock just waltzes in and is just like, haha! It's me! Herlock Sholmes!
Herlock Sholmes.
And we're like, and we're
My
just like
boy.
staring at him like, please read the room at all, sir. He's just like, I won't! He starts
Yeah.
spraying us with like fucking powder. What an idiot. Anyways, you're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen.
Well, what do you propose to do then?
I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Oh, fuck!
Hiya!
Please.
Fucking got his ass!
What the?
That was a Susato takedown.
A Susato what? What martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry? Prove it?
That was really good, by the way. She fucking just laid his bitch ass.
Fucking
God.
just judo slammed him.
Just fucking took his ass to the ground. I guess it makes sense. We have been told that Ryounosuke here is a small person.
It's a very small, very skinny lad.
Yeah, he can fit right in that suitcase there.
Which is
Yes,
crazy, because that
very nice.
suitcase looks wicked tiny.
Doesn't it? I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to...
Have you forgotten already? What you achieved in just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see.
It was called the Susato toss. I mean, that's basically the same thing, isn't it?
She's expecting to present...
Susato toss,
She's
Susato
expecting me to
takedown.
present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that
The
proves
note
I'm not
on the
guilty.
door.
The note on the door.
The note on
Yes!
the door. How could he have put the note on the door,
Tell me,
Susato?
when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly.
I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Ah,
This camera angle is just really
Yes, of
funny.
course.
The way we're still fucking...
it's really funny. That he's just on the ground and he's like, please look at this. He's like holding up his manacle hands with the piece of paper. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor. I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? I would like to be right side up again, please.
He just lifts him off the ground with one hand, and he's just like, "Oh God." My headcanon is now that Susato is wicked strong, and no one can change that. Anyways, now the next time we're beset upon by a villain and she doesn't Susato toss them, I'm gonna be really sad.
I hope it's just a thing she does all the time.
Like all the time. Like just constantly. Someone makes a break for it, she like appears from behind a corner in front of them, just tosses them to the ground.
Flash steps over behind them.
She's just like, "Oh, I don't think so." And she's just like behind them, and they're like, "Oh my God."
Nothing personnel, kid.
Nani? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating it here, at least.
Thank you. So you finally believe me? No.
No.
Why?
I'm sorry,
What?
no. I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position.
What does she think I am, a magician?
I can't rule out that you're a sorcerer, I'm sorry.
Alright,
Sorry, I don't know why
fine.
that got me. Maybe because she's so serious usually that she's just like, I don't know, you could be a fucking wizard, dude. I have no idea. I can't prove you're not a wizard.
Crazy.
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh. Okay.
I shall be watching you to make sure you do not to make sure you do nothing that. Okay, never mind then. I wouldn't.
I didn't expect you
Oh.
to stumble over that sentence. There it is.
Listen, I stumble over a lot of shit. What do you want from me? I'm no professional reader, man. I might to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. It's when they do stuff like that and they say do nothing.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, I'm not used to words in that order.
right.
Like, instead of saying you don't do anything,
You will do
I
nothing.
wouldn't want you using. You won't have done things.
Correct.
Oh, Blood Adept's here.
Hi,
Hey,
hi,
Blood
Blood
Adept. Kids Spirit is movie night. Movie night. Movie night's good. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death.
I'll make sure nothing you do will disturb this crime scene. Yeah! Would have made more sense, I think. Oh, this guy's still here. Does he read Russian? Can he tell us what the floor says?
I'm just gonna start on the right side and click on everything.
There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No, no, no.
How can you be sure? Oh dear, that won't do.
Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly.
Yes, that's not good.
I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san?
Oh.
I'm sure you're careful to look all around using D-pad left and D-pad right, aren't you?
What?
Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin. What? How am I every character that has to say D-pad left and D-pad...
Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now.
Oh yeah, Kazuma's dead. Welcome to
Kazuma-
the stream, Blood Adept.
Dead as hell. Alright, what's the scroll say?
That's what Kazuma did. Dead
Seigi,
as
the
hell.
Japanese word for justice. Yeah, that'll do it. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. I don't believe one of those.
I don't believe one of those characteristics of Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet you, can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
Even though you stowed away on the ship,
He told me to. Now you're gonna bring that up, aren't you? I can't win.
Naruhodo just learned to turn his head. I know, right? Look at that.
There's a knife.
What?
That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate on the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right, so he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me.
Oh no! Does that mean... Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly. It's just too horrible.
Now I
how
suddenly have a guilty
distraught she
conscience
is.
and an achy stomach. Sword.
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
Yeah, I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone, but I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. That's not important, I guess. What's all this then? What do you think this is? It looks like half of a bell and a skid mark. Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
The glass is such a beautiful color. Seriously, was it with our partner saying up dead this friend? That's what they do. They're like, here's
That's
your
what they
cool,
do.
very confident, very put together and articulate person. They're gonna die, which is your call to action to stop being a fucking dumbass and learn.
You have to learn. Your actions have consequences.
Clearly cut by a sword. Oh my god.
Oh
The
my
assailant
God.
attacked with a pink glass cup, and Kazuma slashed it in half.
Genius.
It looks like a cute little Natsuke fastener from a kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he?
Oh. And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has some sort of brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin.
Nothing brick-colored in here. There are no bricks at all.
Okay, Okay, that's not important. There's a man. I don't care about him. Yeah, I have to move with the stick, but the stick moves just way too much. Let's check out that door.
When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open,
He broke it.
this bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. Oh,
But
you know what I bet?
fragments
You know?
of it
Oh,
expected-
shit. No, go ahead and finish reading that, and I'll give you my oh shit in a second.
I've suspected Kazuma of bludgeoning it with his massive hands. Yes, let's go with hands. He's a man with big hands, Kazuma. Yeah.
So, you know what I bet happened? I bet the room was unlocked, and then the ship hit a wave and it locked it. Because everything
locked
slid
the
that
bolt.
way.
The bolt slid. Everything slid to the left. See, look
Yeah.
at all the books and the trophy
Yeah,
on the shelf.
I noticed
That's
that.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The room was unlocked. Someone went and could go in and out as it pleased, and the bolt slid across the door. That's the only thing that makes sense, because like everything is thrown to the left.
Just everything, absolutely everything.
They must have had a big upswell.
But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw the bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this.
Oh my god! Holy shit! Pocket sleeves.
Pocket sleeves.
That's incredible. She's just gonna pull books out of nowhere like that?
Washa.
To the left, to the left. Clever criminal, arranging a wave to hit the ship just right.
Incredible.
The criminal was like, "Yes, I know we're going to
I'm
hit
gonna
a big
drop
wave,
something-
which will lock the bolts."
You're going to drop something very heavy off the starboard side.
I'm gonna have my accomplice drop a giant 2-ton boulder into the ocean, a kilometer north of here, and with the waves that it creates. Could you imagine if someone
Genius.
planned for that? It's so good. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. What is this? These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
It's essentially a list of requirements from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Oops. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
Well, Kazuma broke both of those, huh? Haha.
Haha. What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Pet, by the way, it's pet.
Pet.
I can't
Obviously pet.
decide.
Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Okay, so we got the sword, we got this. This is important. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way.
And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea. Although he's fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once.
I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-san doing his morning sword training. Do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
And perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage.
I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Yes.
Yes, yes. It's called the ocean, Kazuma. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Susato, no! What? What? Or are we gonna hit another wave and it's gonna all knock over and we're gonna go, oh? Wait, no, just I know, right? But she's like, this is untidy. She starts taking the tape off the floor. We're like, stop! What are you?
What are you
She's
doing?
cleaning the ink on the ground.
Did you do it?
That's a very. She did. She Susato tossed Kazuma into the afterlife, and then pinned it on us. My God.
Ridiculous.
That's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Ah, yes, I see it says, "This way up" in Japanese.
Which in hindsight I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown.
I'll do it again.
Let's,
Don't try me.
Alright, let's check out the... Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Well, then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage.
Poor Kazuma. Nope.
Poor Cosmos. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I can't read Russian.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruto-san.
What? Then what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's Russian!
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder?
Duh!
It's Russian.
Can you ask the Russian guard? What if you click on
Maybe.
the word itself?
The word doesn't do anything, or the word is already part of this.
Oh, okay, it's the same thing, got it.
Okay, desk.
She's the monk of feudal era Japan. Yeah, why did the Japanese English student write in Russian? What was his plan?
doesn't
Was he
make any
just
sense.
flexing? Was he like, if I'm to die, then I want everyone to know I was really fucking cool.
I was bilingual. Trilingual, even.
I speak so many languages it makes your head spin. Then
No,
he
I'm-
just collapsed on the floor and died.
Now, I'm assuming he didn't write that, but whoever didn't know, either didn't know he was Japanese or didn't know a language other than Russian.
That first one would be wild.
Considering just the way
didn't
he
figure it
is.
out from his katana
From
and
his
like
katana, his fucking samurai
Japanese
headband,
everything.
the Japanese words written on both the fucking wall scroll and the wardrobe.
And the fact that he gives me the impression of a man who talks about being Japanese a lot. But that's just color commentary for me. He was doing Duolingo in his final moments. He knew the owl would come for him in the next life. He had to clear his daily. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. Excuse me, I'm dying.
It looks as though his last entry is incomplete.
Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Why?
Hiya! That's out of the question.
What?
Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case?
I don't care.
Alright, I won't read it. Jesus Christ.
Poor Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either, but in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Alright, well, I guess we just don't get to do that.
Apparently not. We're gonna have to wait until she leaves. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
The trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not.
The bridge is falling down. Falling down! Look, Kazuma let me sleep with him in the bed at night. Nice.
Vent.
Vent. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it might connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it could be connected to the it should be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so the rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough or something like that.
I suppose. Maybe that's it. What the
No,
fuck?
I could see Kaz. Ah! Where did you come from?
Who's that?
What?
He wasn't there
Was
a
he
minute
just-
ago.
He didn't.
He just appeared there.
He was just there when she moved.
As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European.
How did he get in here?
Excellent.
Oh, how did he?
You've noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall.
Odo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He
He's
doesn't
a
look like a
master
member
of
of the
stealth.
crew.
He teleports.
There's something very unusual about him. And he's investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Why is he investigating it like this, though? Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
I've been living in a closet for 2 weeks, woman. Why would I know who he is? By the way, I expect you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A button on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Alright then, I'll just get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
He's suspicious and tall. Oh, please do. Is she like a big Herlock Sholmes fan? Is that what's happening?
I guess so. What the hell is this thing, though?
This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really, that sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. She seemed really disappointed. Alright, let's talk to you first. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes at the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke.
He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty.
You might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? What, are you bragging? Niet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. Yeah, I say no more to you. At least twice. Blood Adept, at least twice.
Yeah, we're up to 2 times. I said that earlier too. I was like, why is every case gonna be this us waking up and being like, I'm being charged with murder again? It's like an improbably high number of times.
Did I hit a nerve? Forgot that was me. Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Excuse me, Herlock Sholmes. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh, this is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him
walked
alone.
into so
He
many
seems...
crime scenes in progress.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Oh, he's gone. Ah!
Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long.
Fuck! You didn't tell me there were jump scares in this. Ah.
What exactly were
I
you
can't
doing
believe
on
Blood
Kazuma's
Adept just
desk
stumbles
just
into
now?
crime scenes.
Crazy.
That's a lot of drug deals.
That's a lot of drug deals. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What did you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least.
But how?
How the deuce did I know that?
Look at
perhaps?
this fucking stupid bastard.
It's really a most elementary
Oh,
deduction, hardly worth
sucks.
explaining.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled to your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. What?
Well, we're going
You leave
towards
16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. What? And
Excuse me?
when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too.
So Herlock in this movie is just actually really stupid.
Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the
Mimic
truth now.
game.
Nothing deceives these eyes. I'm Japanese.
I'm a
just to be-
Japanese law
Just to be
student.
clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. He's right 30% of the
It's right
time.
30% of the time. Go and walk to clear my mind, go down dark alleys because you're not paying attention, and boom, drug deals. Ah, yes.
Listen,
I guess that's a way to find drug deals. It's like a side quest. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama.
what?
And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruto-san. Absolutely wicked.
No, listen, there's no way I... Ah, why?
Hiya!
Ow!
Dude, you've gotten Sasato takedown 3 times. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous. Is it gonna slap me with a to be continued? Oh no, I just stand back up.
He's
Okay.
gonna be so concussed by the end of this. How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously.
Wait, why did you say it? Wait, why did you say the name Naruto-san? That's not a Russian name at all.
Now hold on, just a second.
Hold on, hey, hang on. Oh, I saw this then. Forgive
And
me.
as for you, what kind of deduction is that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? With venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, hmm?
So does
Well,
this guy
to
just
be
say like
honest-
6 things and one of them is right and the rest are just wrong?
This ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. Ah. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes.
So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes.
The very same. The inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san?
The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
What planet have I been living on, then?
Is it Susato take downed or Susato taken down?
That's
Take
an excellent
down.
question.
I imagine it's spelled take downed as in take downed apostrophe D.
Yeah, like that.
He's
yeah.
been taked downed.
He's been takedowned.
Take downed. Three truths and a lie, except 3 lies and a truth. Sometimes 4 lies and a truth. A lot of lies.
As many lies as it takes, and 1 truth.
He's kind of just like Nostradamus. If he keeps saying shit, one of them has to be right. We must ask him what he's deduced.
Why?
He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this?
See, I was wondering how we were gonna have a case with Herlock Sholmes, like a game with Herlock Sholmes in it, because like, wouldn't he just figure everything out? No,
No.
they just made him a fucking idiot.
No, he's stupid. Doyle's estate can't take down this fire theme now. No, his theme is fucking great. Great detective.
It's a really good theme.
So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Romance Magazine. Full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories you've started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Are you sure? Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I have bad news.
Are you sure?
I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction,
This man
you
has got a
see.
lot of innocent people locked up.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form.
A science?
How angry would you be if he said Svarti?
I would have laughed my ass off if Sherlock Holmes hit us with a one
Svarti!
Svarti!
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of the muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate
That's how I know
conclusion
you
is,
were a
without
Russian
fail,
assassin.
the truth.
Assassin.
As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes
Also,
me
they're
the one and
speaking in
only
Japanese right now.
Herlock
Right?
Sholmes. I guess they must be.
So he knows Japanese, but still has not figured out why this Russian revolutionary
I mean,
assassin
maybe they're speaking English
is
because
fluent in
Ryounosuke
Japanese.
does speak English. I don't know that he's fluent.
A
in it,
little
but
bit. Well, he
Kazuma's
didn't know
not.
enough to understand what the lady was saying, except
Oh,
for
true.
basic sentences.
I managed to deduce
And that was
anything.
like a few weeks ago.
Right. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It
The
was none
wardrobe
other
that
than the
said
great
"keep
detective
out."
before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
I hate this guy.
Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? 2 facts, you say?
Oh no.
Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please, what 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Well, that is the Russian word for wardrobe. It is? This is you, sorry.
I didn't realize that I was going to speak. Well, but you see, Blood Adept, only Russians can write in Russian. So says Herlock Sholmes.
The greatest detective of all
Never
time.
mind the things that were in Japanese about the cabin or the katana on the floor. No. The Russian here really sealed it. You know, I might hate Herlock, I'll be honest. He's very stupid.
No, shut up. He's great.
I don't like people that are very stupid and think that they're right about everything, because it means that they cause problems.
What does the dude in the
do you
corner
really
that
think
everything's
Kazuma's-
we're Russian? Well, that's a Japanese man, obviously.
That's the most Japanese man I've ever seen. Do you hear the way he says "niet"? Classic Japanese word.
Do you see his pale skin and yellow hair and blue eyes? Classic Japanese.
Why, I saw him eating a fresh bowl of borscht just yesterday. And if that's not Japanese cuisine, I don't know what is.
Da, comrade. I'm Japanese man.
Duh. It's me, your classic Japanese man. Do you really think Kazuma-sama would have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Guardrobe might be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Well, we found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. There's a whole game mechanic about correcting him.
Yeah. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian, too? I observed that
I
you
really
were
hope
wearing the
that
same
this-
attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
It's not, though. At all. It's not. What? Like a baby after killing his best friend. Also, I really hope that that's not even the word for wardrobe, and he's just like guessing
wrong
because it
about that,
kind
too.
of vaguely looks. Because it's like an A and an R and an E, right?
Right.
Kind of. I really want him to just be wrong about it.
I mean, I don't know what it says, certainly, so I couldn't tell you. I need Russian worse than I read Japanese.
And I should have known. Oh, apparently Blood Adept's gonna look into it.
Okay.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people. I had no idea.
Oop, wrong button. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was
Does that say POG at the end?
It certainly looks like it. For English transliteration, it is the right pronunciation. Oh, so it's if you sounded out the word wardrobe in English and then wrote it with Russian characters, that's what it would spell? I guess. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered.
It might mean something else.
Right, before the body was removed. Garderobe. Ah, I see. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record.
And he's just like, no, you've thrown me 3 times.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? I couldn't begin to know how to pronounce that word. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean.
It looks like it says rap pog with some random stuff in the middle.
The now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. I was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. His name is Villain Bolshevik.
So he thinks
He thinks we're this guy.
He thinks this is us. He thinks we are this man here. He must also think we're a master of disguise.
This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night a young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian?
Wait, they stopped in Shanghai, China?
I guess
just
so.
Recently?
Like today.
But they've been at...
yesterday. They've been at sea for 2 weeks from Japan. And it's a 50-day voyage.
To get from... Hold on, I'm bringing up a... Hold on a sec, I'm bringing up a Google Maps. That doesn't... Where is Shanghai? Okay, instead of typing maps, I typed Google, which is nothing. I Googled Google. Maybe Shanghai's not where I think it is, but let me take a look. Let me scroll out until I have the whole globe. Shanghai is like pretty close to Japan, which means that of their voyage, they spent 2 weeks going from Japan, just like right over to Shanghai, and that means that it's gonna take them, of their remaining days, it's gonna take them the other 35 days to cover like 100,000 times that distance. Because they still have to go all the way around all of China, all of India. I guess they might be able to go through the Suez Canal if that exists right now in the current timeline. But if not, they have to go around Cape Hope.
Yeah, if they're not going around Cape Hope, it's maybe possible if they're not going around Cape Hope.
Are you seeing this map? This doesn't add up.
Nope, I didn't mean to do that. I had
I didn't read that. I was still staring at that. Well, you can bring up the thing now. We learned that.
Mhm.
So it made a call at Shanghai. Yes. I don't think this timeline's right. The Suez Canal is from 1912. So like, were they super delayed that it took them 2 weeks to get from Japan to Shanghai? Because that's not very far. That's maybe like several days. But like 2 weeks? Like, I don't know how slow ships were, obviously, back in the late 1800s.
Okay.
But that seems...
Suez Canal was 1859, so okay, that makes sense.
But I assume Japan to Shanghai is not a 2-week-long trip in and of itself. Either that or going from Japan to the United Kingdom takes way more than 50 days. But anyways. It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt
we know
learned
it's
to
the early
revolutionize your
1900s,
appearance
right?
as well.
I have no
Oh,
idea.
please.
Somehow every stream we have, someone brings up that it's the early 1900s. Yes,
Yep.
we know. So it's probably a steamship of some kind.
Right, I would assume.
But like, what I'm saying is that there's just no way if it took them 2 weeks to get from Japan to Shanghai.
It's crazy.
I say late 1800s, as in 1880s, 1890s, which is 1 decade off from the early 1900s.
Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
I'm just gonna start saying the first turn of the century or something. Wait, no, that's not true either, because that's the 90s to the 2000s. No, wait, that's the turn of the millennia. I'm never gonna bring up years again. I'm going to speak in esoteric slang from now on.
Excellent.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of the assassination and the blowing up of the Crystal Tower.
Ah, yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all of those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Yeah, take the paper for yourself. A little memento for this great deduction. Oh, thank you.
So his deduction was reading the newspaper.
I've connected the dots.
All he did was read the newspaper and then go, yes, this is what happened here. This newspaper tells us everything.
I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Fucking take a look. I can't read that.
Yeah, but there's a picture. You can look at it.
This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruto-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. I'm here too.
Ah! Just shoved his way into the 2D screen.
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruto.
The article about the ballerina has been entered into the court record. Cool.
What do you
On
think
the back,
inflation was like in the 1900s?
cast your eyes over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. What were you... Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Like how he was writing in a diary entirely in Japanese.
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. You see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but... I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
I already did!
Tragic! And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is just so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to the details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado nado, I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none.
Oh.
So what was all that showing off about before then?
If you're to be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
Why can't I read it? I'm much obliged, my dear madam. That fucking bow was excellent.
It's you, Supes. It is I was gonna say, this is exactly Steven. Like, I can read none of these! Ah! The victim is clearly a Russian familiar with Japanese. He's coding his messages to himself for later in a different language. Yes.
Brilliant deduction. This voice is really
He's
fun.
so
also.
dumb. God, he sucks. I hate. He's going to cause us so many issues. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound. These are very deep waters. Pray go on. What?
What?
Does that have to do with anything?
I'm sorry? Is he saying the water was whistling at us?
What does
I
that
don't
have to do with
understand.
anything?
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator
Oh
grill.
my god.
Was it a snake?
Was he actually killed by a motherfucking snake? A
By a
speckled
snake?
band? What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record.
Or is the speckled band going to be something else in this case? The
So,
fan
I believe
translation
I've-
mentioned specifically Sherlock can only read hiragana and katakana.
So I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Do you have somewhere to go?
No. As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest.
We've been alive for
Matter
about an hour
warrants
and a
further
half,
investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to.
Great
No, that's
detectives
a
are
good
appealed,
idea.
Desperate. Our minds rebel at stagnation, and we crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh yeah. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No. There's no point to trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be you just said it only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
I merely said that you had killed 16 men and were going to blow up the Crystal Tower, not that you killed this Russian man on the floor. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're not quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really.
Who the fuck is this dude?
So
I
what
don't
were
know.
you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway.
This dude is cracked, man.
That was then and this is now. What do you mean?
He definitely radiates like a 1900s undiagnosed ADHD vibe.
What I mean, sir,
You know
is
what I
this. If you're the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain
bogus.
rude.
This is clear. This is an imposter.
And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Don't give him the benefit of ADHD. Yeah, I mean, he might just be a fucking idiot. I don't know.
He may just
But
be
he seems.
stupid.
I'm just saying he seems incredibly scattered. Like he's like, ah, shit. What were we talking about? I was staring at that thing over there. Multiple
Anyway,
personalities.
cheerio.
I mean, maybe. Why am I here? Who are you people?
Good day, sir. Oh shit, is it a crime that happened in there? I see the murder tape.
This murder tape? Did someone? Is that Russian for
A
wardrobe? He throws
Russian,
open the wardrobe
a
again.
Russian man died in the wardrobe.
My God, where's his body? I have to find it. And then we never see him again. He's searching the ship top to bottom for a second corpse. Naruto-san, what are you just standing there for?
Hmm?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... What fucking...
Hiya! That's number 4, baby. Do you like how she's done this 4 times now?
In this room
It's
alone.
really good. Anyways, after Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
Ugh. As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I still think we have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
Out of all the... that's true, he does seem to be... Well, okay, who are the detectives we know of in Ace Attorney? There's Gumshoe, who's like...
Svani!
Gumshoe is okay at best.
Gumshoe doesn't really draw many conclusions, honestly. He's normally just collects shit. And it's like, yeah, pal, we got like the half-eaten hamburger here. Like,
there was...
he doesn't like...
There was Jake Marshall, who was a cowboy for no reason.
and he was the perpetrator, so he doesn't really count. He didn't actually detective anything.
No. In fact, he did a crime. There's a... fuck it. Yeah, Mr. Zvari was also a criminal. Bobby Fulbright, I can't spoil the reasons why he's a bad detective, because we haven't played that game yet. But rest assured, he is. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is that? It's him. Look at him.
Is something wrong, Naruto-san?
Oh,
it's
no,
Hasanaga.
it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Hmm? Yes, what can I do for you?
He's even doing the same arm thing.
I recognize that face, but it can't be.
There it is!
It is!
Wipe it on your sleeve. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Yeah.
Hello again? What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of this crew and board this ship. Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Did I get everything in here? I think I did.
As far as I saw.
Yeah, because this is nothing, the lamp is nothing, the bed's nothing. I didn't skip, the ink is part of that. Yep, the only thing I couldn't do is talk to this man because he wouldn't let me. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Niet! You stay in this cabin until next port, then it's up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay! Alright. There's no point in trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we really said anything after that Bobby Fulbright comment, really. I think we kind of just went, oh hey, Hasanaga's here. That's about it.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder if they're actually going to explain why this happens to him, or if they're just decided this is his personality quirk, is that he coughs up blood.
He just coughs up blood occasionally, for fun. What are your special orders this time, Inspector? No, we left Shanghai.
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry. Hmm? This is all my fault, and I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asugi-san's bodyguard. Well, you failed. Bad
well,
job.
you did poorly. You did very bad then, actually. This is the worst you can do if you were trying to be a bodyguard. You
It
know?
was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asugi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-san was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asugi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asugi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace.
True, though.
All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. I would love to investigate next door. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not!
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a
See,
solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how...
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade. Yeah. Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruto-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the Present panel and choose some evidence. Inspector Hosonaga, something.
Can use. So evidence that would give us a viable reason to
use.
investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain.
The diary, I assume.
Yeah.
Also a spicy commentary. Different, Chen.
What's that? It's Kazuma's diary.
Inspector Hosonaga picks it up. He's like, "What is this, Russian?"
I
Like,
didn't know Kazuma was so fluent.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill."
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me, the ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right, so if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asagi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Carpe diem. Just select move, and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out.
We've learned the move button. Ryounosuke learns how to use his walking toes.
9th January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buria, first clap cabin passageway.
Clabbin?
Clap lab
Is that a mousetrap on the floor?
It seems
But
to
with
be.
like a ball of cheese?
It seems to be. Ooh, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodations in the steerage.
Really? That must be awful.
Ah! We found him.
Hello! It is me, another
It's heavy.
Russian man.
I'm also a Russian man. I
Yes.
suppose you've met other Russian men inside the room. I am one outside the room.
I am different, you see. Oh, look
I
over there.
am different Russian
That's another
man,
crewman
but we are
keeping
both
watch.
Russian.
And he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down.
I have yet to meet man who can outsmart a bullet. I just really liked in that cutscene how this guy sounds exactly like Heavy from TF2. It's really
crazy.
good. So anyways, the door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. Yeah, see, Malagai knows what I'm
exactly.
on about. Thanks, Malagai. I suppose he's making sure no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs.
Naruto-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be more used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already, and
Oh,
somehow
yes, I
only
know.
gone from Japan to Shanghai.
But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please don't give me that pitying look. Alright, well, let's look at some stuff over here. This is a map. That might be helpful. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck. Look.
The Beria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. Ooh, 3 skins!
3 skins.
What a marvel! It reminds me of that scene. There's a scene in Futurama where they have a ship that has like 10,000 hulls, and it punctures every hull, and they're like, "No! If only they had made 10,001 hulls." It's really good. Anyways,
Oh, sorry.
steamship. I think I just needed to say, what a marvel of engineering.
Yeah. It's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
It's
Science.
called displacement, you dumbass. Well, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
A man in a bathtub figured this out, you idiot. Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan? Yeah, that's what I fucking said.
Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth. Many, many times larger than the ship. Okay, but they're connected to the ground. Wait, no. Wait, no, what? No, shut up. No, Sasato. You can't. No. No. No, Steven. Steven,
Yeah,
I'm
what's up?
mad. Steven,
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna read the sentence, but I'm not gonna. I'm doing it under protest. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them.
Well, I suppose so.
I'm gonna die.
What's this?
I thought she was gonna be like, well, displacement, right? And then she said, no, but think about how islands float.
Ridiculous.
Uh,
That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it.
it is the 1900s though, so maybe they just didn't know that islands didn't float. I feel like
guess.
someone must have known.
Someone
Someone must have
considering-
gone under the
considering
water enough to be like, oh look, it keeps going down.
Crazy. The
That's-
islands.
that's like-
No, she's
you-
right.
you
She's right. The islands
silence
don't
through it.
sink.
They're not floating. They're not floating though. They can't sink. That's like saying, oh look, I'm not sinking as you're standing in the shallow end of the pool. You're not floating either. This hurts me. This hurts my soul. Yes, that looks like the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it? Oh my god.
Seeming kind of bad, really.
Hmm.
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
Hmm.
Oh,
You'd
is this
expect a
gonna
rough
say
and
when
ready
we hit
sailor
that
to have
wave?
You wouldn't expect such a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment.
But they also don't know that snakes don't have bones. That's right, they probably think snakes have bones. These ignorant idiots. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report.
Was there a wave at like 2 a.m.? But there was like a wave at 2 a.m.
Hmm. Bet they're not
Snake
gonna tell
bones.
us about it,
Well,
though.
snake bone. You don't need a word for snake bones because they don't exist. At least, not real ones.
And yet we have a wo-
Fabrications
and-
do.
And yet we have a word for Centaur.
You know what? We do have words for things that don't exist. I guess that we would need we could have a Snones word then, huh?
Yeah.
The old snake bones.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. to me.
Anyways. Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Yes, we have plenty of those.
Wait,
back
that
home in
means it was
Japan.
used by a fantasy author.
Although
What
they seem,
fantasy author came up with snake bones?
I don't know.
I'm gonna find them.
Although they
and
seem to
put
be
them
using
on
a lump
trial.
of chalk or something as bait.
Let me see. Yes, I think that's what's called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. Oh my god, do these
Eat it.
motherfuckers not
Eat
have
it.
cheese?
I mean, they might not. I don't know 1900s era Japan well enough to, but
Yeah.
like,
Did Japan not
If
have
they
cheese in
didn't
the
have
1900s?
milk-
That's sad. I'm sad for them.
it's a little interesting though because like a lot of different societies came up with cheese because most societies had milk from something, you know, like a goat or a sheep
right.
or a cow.
And just at some point they curled it and went, this is still edible. Crazy.
I went, that is interesting. Real side, quick diversion, quick. I'm gonna look up when was cheese introduced to Japan. Introduced. Oh my God! It autofilled introduced to Japan.
Maybe
See,
a lot of people are
Wisconsin
Googling
nearly
this.
perfected. Wisconsin perfected cheese, but did not invent it. A lot of people came over from England to already make it. Let's see here. Ancient Japanese cheese has been making a modern comeback. Says this article. Huh. This says that they had something similar to a cheese in the year 560. Which
Maybe just Japanese cheese.
something.
Maybe Japanese cheese just looked different than Western cheese did, or something.
well, maybe it was just like a similar thing, and we call it cheese now, but they didn't call it cheese back
Maybe.
then, or something like that.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Strange.
This is just talking about how they yeah. I don't know. These articles are inconclusive at the moment, and I don't feel like getting too far into it. But it's interesting to think about them just having no concept at all of cheese.
Cheese.
Cheese, if you please. And I do. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers.
Okay, hold on.
When
Cheese and
not
milk are both
he's
popular and
smarter
enjoyed
than
in
a
Japan
rat.
have a household ubiquity similar to the U.S. While the introduction of cheese goes back centuries to the varieties of Mongolian-style cheese brought over from China and Korea, its introduction to mainstream Japanese dining came about the Meiji era of... Oh, so common cheese eating
Late
was right
1800s.
around this era.
Yeah.
Really?
And this is like the early 1900s.
I suppose you're right.
That's the only thing I could find too. Apparently during the Meiji era, they like lifted bans on like meat, and they started pushing for more meat and dairy because they're like, this is how European soldiers are so robust. Was their claim? They're like, it's all this it's the cheese. What does it? You'll see. But yeah. I guess they didn't call whatever they had from like the year 500 cheese. Maybe they just considered it a different thing. You know?
Strange.
You know? Do they have Go-Gurt in Japan?
Oh my god.
Have they thought of pouring it into bowls yet?
I'm going to read it for
like
you
if
if you continue this line of thought.
But bowl of yogurt though. Fine. You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later.
Don't pity me. Okay, so this is my room, I assume. First class cabin number 1.
Yes.
Yes, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's.
Sorry?
Yeah, I know that from the history of Japan video where they're like,
Right.
open the country. Stop having it be closed. Which explains why they didn't get like Western cheese. I just thought it was weird that they didn't have like a concept of cheese, which it sounds like they did have a concept of cheese. But
Right.
maybe it was different enough that they didn't consider it the same as this sort of cheese.
Or like they
That's
said
part
they said it wasn't like used popularly until like the 1900s. So
Yeah. It's just weird to me. I was like I thought all societies basically
cheese.
that had I was like all societies that have ready access to milk kind of invented cheese in some form, right? Because just by happenstance, when you've
Just
got
by
that
accident.
much milk lying around, eventually you get cheese out of it. But who can say? Not me. I'm no history major. Your combination is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
you know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way.
500 and... How many cabins are there? At least 539.
At least 539.
What's this? Is this alarm important?
The bell.
What do you think
Fire
this is?
alarm.
It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
But that's the thing, Blood Adept. You don't need beef to make cheese. That's why, you just need milk. That's why there's, countries that have goat cheese. I get that they probably didn't have traditional Western cheese. I just thought it was weird that they wouldn't have had any type of cheese. But I don't know how much dairy production they had in general. But, a lot of societies had some form of dairy, whether it be goat or sheep or other mammals you can get milk from. Those giant blue things in the Star Wars sequels.
Hmm.
In the novel Shogun by James Clavell. Huh. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see. Nope. Fuck no!
Wait! Wait, what if they stopped the ship and that's what caused everything? Like the sudden stopping caused everything to lurch backwards.
Could be.
Which way is the ship heading right now? Because
I
if the
don't
ship
know.
is going, if the ship is going to the right, if the direction we're facing right now, the ship's going to the right, and it suddenly, oh no, if it's going to the left, because we're outside the camp. If it's going
Right.
to the left, if that's the front to the left now, and it stopped, then that would explain, like that sudden stopping would toss the books back, right? No, it would toss the books forward, so it'd have to be the front is the other way. The front would have to be on the right side. But that sudden stopping could have slid everything like that, right? Instead of a wave necessarily.
Yeah.
Because
that
then they could have actually done it on purpose.
Right.
Or maybe
That
still
would actually make sense.
accidentally.
They would have had to probably disable the alarm part of it, but yeah. Or else, why would there be no note of it in the record unless maybe I don't know.
There'd be nothing.
I mean, I guess we'll find
They
out.
didn't think highly of. They didn't think highly of animal byproducts either. I mean, that's fair, I suppose. It's somewhere between. Yeah, Mulligan keeps saying that it's like early 1900s, and I've just been going with that. So that makes
Makes sense
sense,
to me.
I suppose. Because it's made in 1851 and burned down. You know, it's weird that crystal could burn so easily.
Yeah, it's crazy, ridiculous.
What are you doing,
That shit's
Naruto-san?
wicked flammable.
You mustn't touch it.
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. I like her sassy pose. If you're to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop, the ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
Alright, I believe that's everything in here. It isn't. Why are some of these lights? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Save electricity.
Excuse me, but could I ask you something? Do you want to take this one?
Why does this guy... Yes, I do. Why does this guy have, like, this sort of stripe pattern on his face, though?
I don't.
I don't know what's up with that.
I bet he fell asleep somewhere.
It's
with
like a
just blinds.
Yeah, is it like a sun... It's like a sunburn or something?
We're gonna find
You-
somewhere with blinds.
You little
earlier with bright
stowaway
light
murderer!
with light shining in it. That wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead. Yeah, I've never burned sugar myself, Blood Adept, but it sounds painful. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
No.
Yo little third-class lady's maid!
Oh.
Oh.
We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Susato-san.
I am not sailor. My mother gave me a name. I am Senior Crewman Biff Stroganoff. Of course you are. Of course you are.
Whew. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Mr. Beef? Or Mr. Stroganoff, about the first-class cabin area.
Here we are in the finest part of Muria's steamship for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
People think they can outsmart me. I've yet to meet a man who can outsmart. Yeah, I wish I could do a heavy impersonation of any kind, but it's really hard. Because it's like a Russian voice, but also it's like got that quality to it, you know? Yeah, just like, I am invincible! But somehow I let the stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in the ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you.
BRB.
Okay.
No, I was reading, really saying BRB.
Oh, right.
No, I've tricked you by accident. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Well, actually, I should BRB to get a cup of water. But also, aha, wireless headset. I'm gonna just read from over here. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's currently occupied?
I'm assuming that's
No.
da. Yeah. Susato-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes or no.
That's unhelpful. Genius.
Wow.
Damn.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Huh. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing.
Passenger next door cabin. What, Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asugi's? No!
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott?
Grimsby
Roylott?
Roylott? I guess? I don't know.
Grimsby Roylott? He is very important. Whoa. What was that one? That was a real voice crackerino there. He's very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy.
I doubt that very much. How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman.
I can't wait to
Such
see
a
what
man
this
would have no
motherfucker looks
interest
like.
in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands.
That was harsh.
You know what's funny? Russia is like as far east in some places
Right.
as Japan, right?
Yeah.
Or farther?
Yeah.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
No.
No, that is not your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important, is that right? That is not your business.
Damn. Oh, did you notice his tie looks like a fish?
Ah ha ha!
Look at it. It's even got the little button. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Seaman Stroganoff sounds terrible.
Ugh.
I do not like it at all. Duh, all time, so criminals like you cannot come in or get out. Mr.
Oh, Mr.
Roylott
Roy
is the name of the guy, the bad guy in the original Adventure of the Speckled Man.
Oh,
Aha!
that's fine.
Aha!
Aha.
Ah!
Don't get too excited, Blood Adept. There's no fucking way that fucking Herlock Sholmes is the bad guy. Because he's around for at least the next game.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It was said about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? I think that's Niet. Hit.
I wouldn't know. Let's just insert
Susato-san, did you
Japanese.
understand that?
It was clearly a no. So it is Niet.
He said room's occupant was the important Englishman. Could I check the record? Yeah, he did. He said it was Big Shot Mr. Royal, who's apparently the bad guy from the original Sherlock Holmes mystery.
Yeah, Big
And you-
Shot. He's Western gentleman.
And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way?
I said no.
I mean, I can see how far back up it'll let me scroll.
Yeah, you were just there where it said important Western.
Very
there.
important Western
Yeah, he's a
gentleman.
Western.
He didn't say English, but
He just said Western, which is presumably somewhere west of Russia.
sorry. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there.
This is enough. I can
I
say
died.
no more now.
Blech.
I die.
Oh.
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
Yes, alright.
Bulkhead to second-class area, staying locked down at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand, sort of. I don't know that I would get either of those idioms.
I don't know that I, a Japanese person, would understand what you mean by the lobster whistling, but sure. Well, I guess they have lobsters and mountains.
That's true. They do
So
have
maybe.
lobsters and mountains.
They do. They have at least one mountain that I know of. The only one I know of. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. So let's just gonna take another look at that manifest. That book on top of the table there really is huge. There's a pen with it too.
Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it? The writing's so nice.
The writing is so neat.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting.
Anyway,
Okay,
look
there we
here. Last night's log is mostly blank.
go. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Oh, okay. It's just the exact same thing.
Alright, sure. That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me.
I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there.
No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Alright, well, maybe we can investigate the door now. Maybe we'll let us in because he's not here anymore. And by let us in, I mean not stop us from going in. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to.
Legendary products became popular in the 15th century, introduced Christianity in Japan in the 18th century. And the shogun of the time created retail stores for milk. See, that's what I'm saying. If they had milk since the 15th century, how did they not randomly generate cheese out of that? Seems unlikely. But I guess maybe it was just not commonplace, and so these two students
It's not
wouldn't
popular,
know about
yeah.
it. It's
Or
not
it's
popular.
cuisine.
See him shoot him dead. He's got blanks. Yes, the ventilator from what? Yes.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, what's up?
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in the cabin will help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Bonk, bonk.
No answer. Well, it's not really just a time thing, but I can see what you mean. Because like spoiled milk isn't exactly cheese. It's normally you get the introduction of certain bacteria to it, and then you go, wait a second. But who can say? It sounded like they had some form of cheese that came from Mongolia through Korea to Japan, like the 560s. So they probably knew how to do it. They probably just didn't have anything that was similar to like a ball of cheddar that you would put on a mousetrap.
A golf ball sized
again,
piece of cheddar.
It's just weird that they specifically got a ball of cheese, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so much
We're out of
cheese.
luck, it
What
seems.
size are the rats around here?
It's a. There's gotta be some big ass rats. Normally you don't need that much.
Also,
not that
whack
much
that they
cheese.
have this just visible on the floor in the first class cabins.
In the
area.
first class, right?
Don't have it like hidden somewhere. Are we gonna find
Weird that
somebody
they
with a
don't do more
fucking
to-
foot injury later?
Wait, man, I wonder if the mousetrap. I mean, so Chekhov's mousetrap, right?
Right.
My only connection that I can think of at this point is that if the speckled band is a snake, as it was in the cutscene intro thing,
Right.
snakes also eat mice.
Mm.
That's it. That's all I got. I'm not drawing a conclusion there because it's nothing. But
it's nothing but.
Because it's nothing. But that's all I got. An entire wheel of cheese. Yeah, the trap was like supposed to. The trap was like at the back end of the ship, and it just slid all the way here.
Whoop.
We're out of
How
luck, it seems. There's no one in here to help with our inquiries.
How annoying.
I read it on the
Ah!
Sphinx instead. Oh,
What was that? It came from inside the cabin.
such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes.
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes.
No,
The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
it doesn't. Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? Wait, what, pray, can I kick? Oh, what, pray, can I kick? What may I kick? I must kick?
I have to kick! I've got the kick wound up, and I have to unleash it!
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. 9th January. SS Buria. First class. Cabin. Number 2.
Now, imagine being on the inside of this cabin. Oh, hey, it's this guy.
Who are you?
Imagine being on the inside of this cabin, though, when a Japanese student with handcuffs, a Japanese girl in a kimono, and a Herlock Sholmes all bust in at the same time.
A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here, but in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me. And you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. Man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. Now, there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe at this time. So might you be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How could anyone fit in such a small trunk like that?
A snake could fit.
It's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me.
Oh!
It just jiggled.
Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruto?
Yes, this case that case just shook. Leave now, otherwise I'll call this steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. The books are also tilted, in the same way. Oh hey, Herlock.
This man is just a gremlin.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah, so the books being tilted here confirms that it was definitely something ship-wide. Also a watering dish for a snake, presumably.
I get. What do you think you're doing?
Ah!
This is my cabin. Get out!
Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps?
No!
Oh, what a pity. I think we're out of luck.
I think you're right.
Herlock Sholmes is closeted now. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do.
I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps
Hey,
that
are
great
you-
detective
help?
could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott.
Help is a stretch.
Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of deduction into service.
Oh.
And it would seem the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on, for once. Observe closely.
He just walks over. He
Russian
takes the
host in this cabin,
scissors from
Mr.
that
Roylott,
person.
is clearly trying to hide
opens the
something.
box.
And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right.
Now, Steven didn't tell me how long we're going for. I was wondering it myself.
I mean, we can stop pretty soon if you want. Like, next time we get to a point where we can, like, where we're not in the midst of dialogue. We're about to do
Yeah,
the
that
dance
works.
of deduction, I think. Can you imagine how the
All right,
Russian will
perfect.
react when his secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh, yes, please.
Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Now, Herlock Sholmes here is basically the character I wrote for Great Ace Detective, which is, to be fair, exactly what I named it after. So I'm glad I was so correct all those years ago when I made that short. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone.
That's right. And Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence that biases the judgment.
Shh! I must have complete silence! What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean by that? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh. And number two, I combined the two voices for a second there. And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah!
Oh, Naruto-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction?
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. A single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle.
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes,
Excuse me.
and now I've experienced the and I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. Oh, look, a new spray.
I can hardly believe it,
Choose
but
hay.
all the color is drained from Mr. Roylet's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite upon you a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1, conclusion. Or topic 1, old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylet, obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylet? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front-page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylet. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai." As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You're the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand.
You thought we were villain Bolshevik?
Listen. Topic 2.
Also, I really want this person to be the ballet lady and like the tiara's on underneath the hat.
That would be incredible.
Wouldn't that be good?
As for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylet. Taken unawares, perhaps people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ha! And I assure you the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. See, now that was actually a pretty good...
That was pretty clever. That was actually good.
The proof
That
of
was
your crime
good.
sits before our very eyes. Yes, that
Wait.
traveling case.
Question mark.
I think that... So, based on video game, I'm guessing that
Question
the
mark means he
exclamation
got
points...
something wrong, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing the exclamation point means he's correct, and the question mark means not even close. It is time, I
Yeah,
think,
like,
that this case be
no?
opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse! What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd! And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me,
See?
we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again,
Good to know.
and you'll only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. Where there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page.
I like his snapping.
It's really good. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction, and according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. kidnapping of a young ballerina. Conclude. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. What?
Wow, everything you said was just wrong.
A fair portion of what you said was... Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes'
Even
brilliant
she
deductions,
realizes
you
it's
know?
bullshit at this point.
But that did seem a little different somehow.
Was Watson the one actually helping? Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Yes? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... These two men look nothing like each other. Wilson,
Tell me your idols, honey.
Yes, I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary. Would you be able to able to revolutionize his own appearance?
That's not what that means. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Royland does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point.
It's still
and
clearly
another thing,
not
the part
him,
of him
though, is the
abducting
thing.
the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear to be too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking up from the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be the simplicity in itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case.
Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Holmes.
The whole thing is turning into a circus.
Yeah, I haven't seen that sketch before, Mauler guy. Hold on. God, find a 5-year-old child. We'll test this. I, Herlock, require a 5-year-old to shove into a suitcase.
Just to prove it can be done. Although I suppose by the time we open the suitcase, we won't need it. I also need a second suitcase. Identical to this one.
Exact same size. Gosh. Mr. Naruto, something's occurred to me about Mr. Holmes' deductions just now.
That they're bad?
They suck. They're really bad. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off.
So his observation powers are okay, he just makes fucking, like, bad deductions.
Yeah.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato.
It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some keywords in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel
we have to make it
sure
seem
we
like
could
it was
do
his
that.
idea.
We have to make it his idea. We'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man has a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? What the...
What the deuce?
How did...
What? Oh my god, Susato was right. He is the conjurer. Where are your handcuffs?
Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it.
I took them off when you weren't looking. I'm cool like that. I'm basically Harry Houdini. You teleport them off of the body. God, that was impressive, actually.
I took them off so you could do some cool poses with me.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Course correction.
There he
Hold
is.
it,
Course
Mr.
correction.
Sholmes.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. You're wrong about that.
So, the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt
No.
that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either.
Which means I suppose that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott.
I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better,
Then what?
then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Oh, well, that's easy. The hair.
It's the hair, yeah.
What's this? I saw this in the trailer.
Yeah, I was wondering how you knew it was there because we hadn't spinned around yet, but I assumed that she was gonna cut off her hair so it would hide under her hat wig thing better. Because this is definitely the ballerina. I don't know why she killed Kazuma yet, but but this is definitely the ballerina running away with the 20,000 ruble tiara.
Right.
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Yeah, that's what I said. I guess that a little, like, 2 minutes ago, basically, like slightly earlier, I said, what if this is the ballerina and like under the hat they're just wearing the diamond tiara? Now, why there's a potential snake in a traveling case, I don't know.
That we don't have any answers for.
But this is definitely the ballerina. It's gotta be. You called them being the ballerina, Josh. I know, right? Look
I was
at me
also
go.
pretty
It's
sure
the
it was
only
the ballerina, but I saw the trailer, so I didn't want to jump ahead.
Yeah, and I didn't at all. I'm just smart. This is the only thing I'm gonna get right this entire game. It's like the one immediately after the tutorial. Also, I like the Ginyu Force pose reference.
Right.
The Ginyu Force is very good. Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. Oh, yes! Present it. Yes! You're on the verge of using your shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Yeah!
Oh!
You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. The music changed, too. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one very much still in her youth. Oh no! Oh no!
No.
If only I'd managed
I
to
normally
cut off my
DM
hair.
Supes to
No,
comment about how you call stuff, but with this game I can't.
right?
Oh, I see. You
No one
DM
would have
Steven saying
suspected.
like, oh, Josh is right about something.
Yeah, when you were supposed to like
Ha-ha.
call something on other Ace Attorney streams, I'll be like, holy shit, they got it. Or if I notice something that's like, if I notice something on second playthrough that I hadn't noticed before, I'd be like, oh shit, they've hinted at this really early. If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have a clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary.
No.
Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Are you serious right now? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true, given that Mr. Royland is actually a woman.
He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best.
But who could it be?
Yes! Bam.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. So do we just correct him in real time?
I
Or
guess.
do we like altering the time stream so that he never says it in the first place?
The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. That pose is my favorite one, where he just fucking like flicks
the
his
hand
wrist.
one, yeah.
It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Ah! I like how Holmes just rolls with it. You correct him, and he's like,
Do you
"Oh my
like
God."
how her entire body also changed when she took the
Right.
beard off?
You're right.
Because I've got the stream up when it's slightly delayed from what I can see in Discord. So
Right.
I could in real time look at both of them and I'm like, yeah, they just made her physically smaller and like have boobs now.
Increased titty.
I guess she she also had like pillows stuffed in her coat that she just now took out.
I
Or
guess so.
something.
My real name is Nina. I mean Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. A ballerina on the run. Solved. She changed the shape via her back. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah! And I assure you the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. I bet it's on the desk. This woman
This
is
is
the
a dance
ballerina,
job.
and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. True.
Brilliant. I mean, he's right though.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm gonna have to
Stealing.
step in and fix the great detective mistake again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this young woman is up to.
You like dancing with older Englishmen, huh? Doing a
Oh,
1-2
hold on,
step.
wait a minute. Ah,
This spin. Ah, there's the tiara. But slightly behind the chair. Dang it, I really wanted it to be under her hat. That would have
Yeah.
been really funny, but this is also pretty
yes!
good. We found it.
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Ah,
But yeah, like before when she was in her disguise, sure, like her torso and like her literal entire body
She was
was
like
just
a
like half a
rectangle.
foot wider. Yeah, she was like stocky, and she just unstockified when she took off the beard. It was very funny.
it's crazy. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no! Yes,
Mix
you
your
left your
voices.
ballet troupe unlawfully, taking their precious tiara with you. Eh! I love how she looks like she got shot when we do that. I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point to hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you would wish it to remain closed.
Also, it was moving before.
Is that
I
no
saw
so,
that shit.
Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'etat betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. As the reason why you refuse to open your case is written within the books on the shelf. What?
What?
He's
Pardon
completely
me.
changed tack with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances. Don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into this? It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze to the direction of the bookcase. Oh,
No dangerous
nope,
pets. It's
no
the sign.
pets.
No pets.
Yes!
No pets. She has a dangerous object and a pet, probably. Probably the same one.
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. In Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case... is the last item listed as a forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet.
You have to do both voices at once, though, Steven.
Is the motto of the passage? Hold on, let me take a couple months to learn how to do that, like, double throat singing thing. We'll be back then. Deduction complete. Elementary.
Elementary. It was too easy, frankly.
So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimsby Roylet.
Perpetual motion.
My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Buria is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman, and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? A veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when they ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me.
As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see.
I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... In that precise moment, we walked in through the knowingly unlocked cabin door. He's still on about that.
He wanted to kick it in.
I wanted to kick it so bad.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? No.
There's just one thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case?
You are right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world.
A big fucking snake!
Please, don't tell anyone. If Captain finds out, if you say to any of crew... Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return... You must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you.
Well, Mr.
I'm assuming
Naruto...
we're about to get
Blech.
agency again.
Yeah, well, Mr. Naruto, wasn't it something, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Take a look at your wrists again. Observe your wrists.
Yeah, he put them back on.
Aw, man.
Ha ha! Got his ass. Ah, your hands are cuffed again.
What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When? And why?
There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruto. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing.
So this
I
one
have
is
to
weird
find
in that
out
it
what
really
that
doesn't feel
speckled
like it's
band
going
was.
to... It doesn't feel like it's going to end in a court case. We're just investigating a murder.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I mean, I don't hate it.
That-
This is fine.
That Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Okay. We have a menu. I could have done this at any time, but I wanted us
Save.
to get to a menu. Oh, the unbreakable speckled band is what it says here. So that's going to be the end of it for tonight. Thanks you all for watching. Have a good night, and we'll catch you tomorrow for... Well, Boko's internet's out, and Swissy's still out, so we might just play Ace Attorney again tomorrow. Like, my friends are dropping my flies,
voice.
dog.
It's only me. It's what will happen to me next. What curse will bestow upon... Oh no! A lava flow!
No, no. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Bye. But Digimon?
Bye.
Listen, I'll get back to Digimon someday. I'm also working tomorrow, so it's unlikely.
TM. Soon, TM.
Bye.